the models that followed the 99 Turbo appear to have quite the same appeal. They did. What we have here is a 1980s BMW hanging upside down 8 feet from the ground. And what we're going to do is drop it.
It's smushed. Hey guys, we're back. We're just here to relax now.
So, let's see what happens when we drop a 1980 Saab 900 from the same height.
Those are some weird rims.
I believe that in a million years. Look at that. And I think you would probably be able to get out as well. I have heard it said that Saab made the pillars so strong that when they went running, they didn't actually have to fit the roll cage. Is that true? Yeah. I mean, they had to fit them because of regulations, but it wasn't actually necessary. You know, I was talking the other day to
No, I'm not watching WWF. I'm watching something else.
and he said he could never work out why Saab cost so much until they crashed it.
Saab were always pathological about safety. Before putting a car on sale, they'd make sure it could survive just about anything. Even a head-on collision with a moose. This attention to detail caused a few problems when they were conceiving the 9000, because, to save costs, it was designed in tandem with the Lancia Fima. The idea was that behind the two different badges and underneath the two different bodies, the cars would actually be the same. And it seemed like they were, up until the point that they were crash tested. Lancia's engineers described the results as perfect. Saab's engineers described them as, I'm quoting directly here, not good at all. And from that moment on, joint venture completely fell apart. The Saab ended up with much bigger wheels than the Lancia. It was also made out of thicker steel, and it had a completely different rear axle. Now, sticking to principles like that is expensive. And Saab was losing money hand over fist on every car it made. Even advertising it as a jet fighter for the road didn't help. So, in 1989, Saab was bailed out by General Motors.
To try and notch some fiscal incentives into executives from GM, went over to Sweden and said, look, this is the Cavalier from our Vauxhall division. And to make your new car, what you do is change the body and the badges. That's it. As you see, body and badges. Saab ignored them so completely that their new 900 shared only a third of its components with the Cavalier. When the time came to replace the 900 with the 930, General Motors executives went over to Sweden again and said, okay, here is the Vauxhall Vectra. Now this time, we only change the body and the badges. Nothing else. Guess what? The Swedes went even more mental. They changed so much that even the wheelbase was different. At one point, a General Motors accountant went over to Sweden to see why Saab was costing them so much money. And he looked at the new 93, turned on the sat-nav and thought, wait a minute, that's not one of our systems. And he was right, it wasn't. Saab had developed at vast expense their own system because they thought GM's wasn't good enough. Eventually, General Motors had enough. And in 2010, as Saab was finishing the job of turning the Vauxhall Insignia into the completely different 9.5, the Detroit Giants pulled the plug. The brand itself will have some residual value, but the company's facilities are likely to be broken up and sold. At the last minute, a buyer was found, a Dutchman who owned a small car company called Spyker. To get the money rolling in, he needed to get the new 9.5 into the showrooms as quickly as possible. That meant it went on sale before it was finished, and that meant it was a commercial flop. And so, in January of this year, manual tractor. I really like the way they did things. I am going to miss that.
It's a sad day.
It's a sad day too for the Swedish town of Trollhättan, where for 60 years the workforce has tried to be different, to be better, to think outside the box. And of course it's very sad for our architect friend who, from now on, will have to buy a 5 Series. Still, there's one crumb of comfort because let's not forget whose engines powered the first ever jet fighter. BMW.
James, we haven't really got time for your precise history of aviation since 1944 right now, because what I'm interested in, all those architects who've got Saabs today, if the company's gone, are they going to be able to keep their cars on the road?
Well, you might imagine that if you had a Saab, you could take it to a Vauxhall dealer. But because Saab changed so much, you may as well take it to W.H. Smith. I mean, they'd be more likely to be able to service it.
Yeah, but actually, the good news is, just this month, a new company has started up specifically to provide parts for Saab. So if you are an architect, fingers crossed, you could be okay for a bit.
You know, that's the second week on the trot we've ended with a useful piece of consumer advice. And on that bombshell, it is time to end. Thank you so much for watching.
I said that, yeah, we're gonna go to bed soon. But not really much is happening right now. It's only 9. It's almost time to go to bed. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Let's see here.
We get very cold and wet. I'll reenact the Battle of
Brutus!
and there's a blur in our reasonably priced car.
We're gonna have the horse Brutus. Remember that horse Brutus that one person had? Oh, yeah, I remember Brutus. Boy, that horse is. Oh, Brutus is awesome.
But there's no actual motor racing going on. The owners of race circuits allow people to rock up and spend the day whizzing around in their own car.
I'm just gonna argue with this person.
Every professional will say that a good magician never reveals his secrets. The illusionist was in charge of showing the entire process behind tricks with cards, objects, and even the most complex ones, such as floating in the air or walking on water. As the magician became more famous, it was speculated that he did not show his face due to the fear he had of being attacked for showing all the magic tricks. However, in 1999, he dared to remove his mask and reveal his true identity. That is how it was learned that his name is Valentino, an actor and illusionist from Los Angeles, United States. After achieving great international fame, he was able to perform in several countries, being recognized by many people around the world. This was until some time later when he disappeared from the media environment. Years later, in 2017, it was revealed that the actor had serious health problems, which forced him to step away from his work. Several media outlets claimed that he suffered from a mental. Every professional will.
Okay.
Did
listening is in Digital Circus. Recently, fans have been discussing a fan AE called the Replacement Code. What's the lore behind it? Let me explain. So this AE
Hmm. I don't watch that sort of thing.
SpongeBob is one of the best shows ever, and it's been on the air for over 25 years. But in that time, it's changed a lot, from the way it looks to the style of the comedy. So, as an animator, I came up with an idea. What if I were to reimagine the most recent episode of SpongeBob as if it were from season 1? How close could I actually get to capturing that classic SpongeBob feel? Let's give it a try. But first, what the fuck actually is the most recent episode of SpongeBob? Because
Oh, this looks like something.
Babies don't ever stop. And behind them is an unstoppable Pampers 360 diaper with up to 100% youth proof fit. Because they're Pampers behind every baby. Now with new easy out styles.
There's only one thing left to do. The winner, Savannah.
No one cares. You
I
gotta.
don't know about you, but I actually haven't watched SpongeBob in a while, so why don't we go see what they've been up to?
I also watch this. I also watch SpongeBob season 5.
Alright, I have here the most recent episode of SpongeBob Necro Nom Nom Nomicon.
I just love breakfast.
Oh my god.
It looks stupid.
Congratulations on completing another expertly crafted adventure done by yours truly. Your reward is lumber.
That would not be a bad idea.
It has been 49 years since Voyager was launched and began its journey through space. Next
3 weeks
year,
ago.
2027, it will finally mark the 50th anniversary of its launch. Voyager was launched and began its journey through space. Next year, in 2027, it will finally mark the 50th anniversary of its launch.
Really, 50 years Voyager?
Now,
Wow.
Voyager continues to travel onward, moving farther away from Earth.
50 years.
In the distant future, decades or even centuries from now, where will Voyager be? Will it eventually leave even the Milky Way and head towards the edge of the universe? Let us follow Voyager's future all the way 10 billion years ahead.
50 years of hard work. Wow. The Voyager project pushing 50? Wow.
Voyager refers to two spacecraft launched by NASA in 1977. On August 20th, 1977, Voyager 2 was launched first. Two weeks later, on September 5th, Voyager 1 was also launched.
So right now they're 58 years old. Wow. They're
The
48.
year 1977 was the perfect time for planetary exploration. The reason was the alignment of the planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune were positioned in a way that allowed for efficient gravity assist. This made it possible to use the gravitational pull of the planets to accelerate the spacecraft, allowing them to observe multiple planets with minimal fuel and travel time. This opportunity occurs only about once every 175 years. The two spacecraft left Earth and began their journey through space. On December 1977, about 3 months after launch, Voyager 1, which had departed later, overtook Voyager 2. In March 1979, Voyager 1 passed by Jupiter. This is an image of Jupiter taken during that flyby. Here is another image taken by Voyager 1 showing Jupiter's great red spot. On November 1980, Voyager 1 passed Saturn. This image shows Saturn along with two of its moons, Tethys and Dione, photographed by Voyager 1. It also captured detailed images clearly revealing the structure of Saturn's rings. After completing its exploration of Saturn, Voyager 1 changed its trajectory toward the outer regions of the solar system. Voyager 2, which had been overtaken by Voyager 1, continued on its journey and passed both Jupiter and Saturn. On January 1986, it approached Uranus. It captured images of Uranus and several of its moons. On August 1989, it approached Neptune. The close-up images of Uranus and Neptune taken by Voyager 2 remain the only such images ever obtained.
Hello.
On August 2012, Voyager 1 reached the heliopause, the boundary between the solar wind and interstellar space, and exited the heliosphere. Voyager 1 reached the heliopause, the boundary. The close-up images of Uranus and Neptune taken by Voyager 2
Hello.
remain the only such image ever obtained. On August 2012, Voyager 1 reached the heliopause, the boundary between the solar wind and interstellar space, and exited the heliosphere. About 6 years later, on November 2018, Voyager 2 also left the heliosphere. Both spacecraft are still traveling through space today. Let us look at their current positions. Voyager 1 is now about 25.1 billion kilometers from Earth.
15.6 billion miles.
And 68 times the distance between the Earth and the Sun, or 168 AU. It is the most distant human-made object from Earth. It is traveling at 17 kilometers per second in the direction of the constellation of Cygnus.
Okay.
Voyager 2 is about 20.9 billion kilometers.
13 billion miles from Earth.
140 AU. It is moving at 15.4 kilometers per second toward the direction of Sagittarius and the constellation Pavo. Communication with both Voyager spacecraft is still possible. Some of their scientific instruments are still operating and continue to send data back to us. Their power source is a nuclear battery. It uses the heat produced by the radioactive decay of plutonium-238. However, the power output gradually decreases each year. For this reason, NASA has been shutting down instruments step by step to conserve electricity. This is one of the last photographs taken by Voyager 2. It was captured from a distance of about 4.5 billion kilometers from Earth. Voyager 1 took a similar photograph from about 6 billion kilometers away, where Earth appears as a faint blue dot. Because of its appearance, it is known as the pale blue dot. Thanks to power-saving measures, Voyager is expected to maintain communication and operate at least one scientific instrument into the 2030s.
Lip ID Cosmetics Professional Makeup.
Once you pop, you'll realize your sweetheart is more salty than sweet.
You know what? I'm gonna call it a night. I'm going to bed. Good night, guys.